Okay. Okay.
Blare it out.
I'm deaf now. Hello, welcome to Entertain This podcast about movies, TV shows, and video games. A special about... What is a special
Mitch.
about, Mitch?
Me? No.
All right.
Last week we didn't have a special, so we're using this special this time. We're
Okay.
going to talk about zombie films. So I know you've at least seen some of the movies.
I haven't.
What are these zombies you speak of?
Well, first, we got to define what is a zombie.
Well, okay, that's
I
a good
think
question. That's a good question. Is a zombie film genred? Like, would you say all zombie films are horror, or would you say that zombie films are their own genre?
I'd say zombie films are their own genre.
At this
Okay.
point, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's been enough film and enough
It's a subgenre of horror.
adaptations and interpretations.
What has to happen in order for a zombie film to be a genre? Like,
I think there has to be some sort of global pandemic or a
Cannibalism.
very large pandemic located to a certain area of a group of people who become undead or in ways become very much animated by some sort of illness.
What would be kind of like an outlier for that?
I'd say Resident Evil.
as in, it's
I'd
not
say
quite,
a lot of like the newer stuff because like a lot of like the mutation kind of deal.
where they
Or like,
become
you're
more than zombies.
like you're 28 days later, 28 weeks later. I'd say would probably actually be a better
So would
idea with like the rage.
Would Omni Man, or what's the Will Smith I Am Legend? Is that a zombie movie?
I mean,
It's a post-apocalyptic film, which kind of fits some of the criteria of a zombie film.
I have seen where they've included it in there, but technically those things aren't dead.
I wouldn't qualify them as zombies. I think zombies have to be something that had died and ceased to exist as it was and was reanimated.
You can
as
never go
something
back.
different. Yes.
Okay.
Well, for what I wrote down here, it's like, the term zombie has been redefined since its original concept of like the voodoo zombies that were hypnotized slaves, basically.
Yeah.
And now they're undead flesh eaters most of the time.
I think
For the
that's,
majority of the
that's the. I think we can all agree that's the definition of
What's
a zombie.
the earliest zombie movie?
The earliest zombie movie?
Yeah.
That is a good question.
What do you think it is?
I'd say George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
That's the earliest staple for zombie movies, but there's a
But I'd
One
say
of-
that's the.
movie called White Zombie.
Yeah, but that's the voodoo one.
I'd say Night of the Living Dead is the opening benchmark of what zombie films would become.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the modern day zombie. We'll move on to, since we're kind of moving into that anyways, we'll move on to the next point, which I was going to bring up, is that there's three predominant causes in zombie films that create the zombies. You got sci-fi, infectious, and religious. And like for sci-fi, you have things like Night of the Living Dead, the original one. There was some kind of like...
It was a throwaway line.
Well, yeah, but that was like what was supposedly caused. It was radiation from this meteor that went over. That was what they allude to as being the cause.
Okay.
Like the infectious ones are like 28 days or 28 weeks
Viral.
later. Yeah.
It's a viral infection of some kind.
Or kind of like the crazies where, they're not technically zombies, but they're on that same kind of path of like crazy.
Rage monster.
Yeah. And then you got the religious, which is like The Walking Dead or Dawn of the Dead, where it's not technically announced as religious, but they have a lot of allusion to it as far as like these people just coming back. There's like no definitive, reasoning for what's happening.
So people default to some supernatural reasoning behind it?
Well, because they have like in Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder one, they mention like stuff like, you have the preacher talking about how when, hell's full, the dead will rise.
Dead will walk the earth.
It's not necessarily religious, but there's no underlying cause that you can just say, this is what's causing it.
That is one thing that they don't talk a lot about in The Walking Dead. Like, why?
Because like they alluded to it in like the first season when they try to get to the CDC,
Yeah.
And all you end up finding out is, like, when you die, it doesn't matter how you die, you're going to reanimate.
Right, and that's pretty much as far as they explain it.
Are they ever going to answer that?
Probably not.
No, yeah.
But that's like the most vague of things is the religious one, because typically it's just something that's not explained at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was going to ask, out of those three, which ones do you prefer in the movies?
The viral one.
Viral. It's easier to believe.
That, and I feel like it's more like you said, believable that it could spread.
The suspension of disbelief of watching it happen as something that's like, it started in a lab, or it's some sort of illness that, mutated to whatever. It's far more believable and applicable.
I agree. Yeah.
Huh.
Let's see. Our next.
Our
next topic is the zombie types.
Okay.
Which you have like the slow walk, which is like the
which is
original Night of the Living Dead,
which would arguably be the most believable. Because you got to think, if a zombie apocalypse happened, people are rotting to death.
Okay.
Because their body is dead.
Well, if it's a zombie that comes out of the ground.
Yeah, but like even like, let's say, Hayden gets bitten, becomes a zombie. As the time goes by, because I'm using you as an example, his body will eventually deteriorate because he's not alive anymore. His body isn't pumping blood. It's not replenishing tissue or cells. He will eventually decompose.
Maybe I am a zombie.
Well, that depends on the reasoning for the zombie to begin with. If there was enough radiation that created the zombie for whatever reason, then it kills off the bacteria to where he doesn't deteriorate as quickly.
I mean, it depends on. Zombie movies were easier to swallow back in the 70s when
they didn't use a lot of science.
Because we had Star Wars, we had movies that were the MacGuffin was just the Force or magic or whatever. Just it was go with the mentality. Today, Back to the Future, if it never existed and was made today, nobody would buy it because the flux capacitor wouldn't be good enough for a reason to go back in time.
We've become too smart.
Yeah, people require there to be more reasonable based science that explains what is doing what. So.
Well, the next, you had the slow walk. Well, now we'll move on. You had the fast run, which is like the Dawn of the Dead.
Speed zombies.
Yeah, the Snyder one, the Army of the Dead, World War Z.
I read a book by Max Brooks. He's the guy that did World War Z and Hand Guide.
Survival Guide.
Yeah, it's a zombie.
I got that one too.
For some reason, this dude is like the Jesus of zombie films. And he's Mel Brooks' son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so like they asked him in an interview once, like, because he's the guy, he knows. They're like, what would your odds be of surviving in a zombie apocalypse? And he said, slow walkers or fast walkers. And they're like, I guess both. And he's like, slow, you have like a 1 out of 3, and fast, you have a 1 out of 7. And I was like, he just came up with those numbers right then and there. This guy knows his zombies.
This man knows his stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. If it's the fast zombies, I'll be honest, I'm gonna die. I can't outrun them forever.
First rule is cardio or something like that. So.
I mean, if you're not a fast person and you have fast zombies, your best bet is just upfront confrontation. Don't try to run. Just conserve your energy for the fight itself.
I don't think so. I think if you're within grappling distance, it's game over, man. So I would get away.
All right, that was fast run. Now we'll move on to the rage zombies, which is like the 28 days later, where they don't even have to like bite you. If they bleed on you,
you get blood in you or on you, you're screwed.
Or you kiss them, which is weird.
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Rage zombie,
but he thought she was immune, so
yeah, still.
And then you move on to the smart zombie.
You think you're smart, zombie?
Think you're pretty smart, huh?
Well, this is like
you undead bum.
The new Netflix Army of the Dead or Land of the Dead, where they're like using guns. Like they're not like full on like tactical using guns, but they're just like picking it up and.
Isn't that where Romero like wanted to go eventually with the zombies? So. Like they were kind of. Some people theorize that they were
becoming like sentient.
That they were like essentially the new step of evolution for humanity.
Right. Well, it's almost like they were coming back. It's like cavemen kind of like learning slowly how to use the stuff.
And they eventually but they were stuck in like their living methods. Like,
Yeah.
they're the guy that was the gas pump clerk.
Yeah, every time we heard the
pouring
bell,
gas,
he just come out there and start squeezing the gas
Yeah.
pump.
So it was weird.
Well, out of those 4, what zombies would you prefer or feel are most
Slow.
most terrifying?
Oh, terrifying?
The rage ones.
I mean, the smart zombies never really been well interpreted.
True.
So I don't know.
And like their degree of comprehension is speculative.
And when we say smart zombie, they're smarter than your typical zombie.
If you include I Am Legend into this category, I think that would be pretty scary.
It would,
because they were intelligent. They could.
They did set a
I'm
trap
torn.
for him.
I'm torn between the fast zombies and the rage ones.
We'll be right back.
Ever wondered what a rhythm-based stealth game with dinosaurs might look like? Or a farming sim in space with zombies? Welcome to the Gaming Blender podcast. I'm Matt, and with my co-host Scott, we take a random game genre and random game mechanics, blend them all up, and pitch wild, totally hypothetical games you've never heard of, and maybe shouldn't. New episodes every other week. Hit play and unleash your inner game dev. No coding required. Search the Gaming Blender on your favorite podcast app now.
The rage is the herd mentality of the rage, where because I remember watching an article or interview with Danny Boyle when he was talking about how they wanted to showcase this pack mentality of zombies chasing people in an open field, and it was like a reverse of one wolf chasing
a herd,
a herd of sheep. It would be like a herd of zombies chasing this one guy trying to get away and stuff like that. And I thought that was kind of an interesting take on it. So I think it'd still be smart zombies for me. Just because
I want to say rage.
you would never know exactly how smart they are.
Because their rage does not dissipate.
Why are they so angry?
They just need a hug.
Because you voted for Trump, that's why.
Shut up.
All right.
So did you.
The next part I have is the unanswered questions in zombie films.
Okay.
Why don't I answer the question?
Why do they have random deterioration between The Walking Dead, Return of the Living Dead? Like, how do they maintain their movement and stuff?
Well,
They shouldn't be able to. I mean, realistically, they should be able to maintain motion for maybe a couple of days.
so according to Max Brooks, the godfather of zombies, he explained that essentially all that needs to happen for a zombie corpse to be animated is the tendons, like the bone and the tendon, like everything else, and if there's a central nervous system connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't need muscle matter and stuff like that to in order to be a zombie, as long as the
Connected tissues.
Right.
And
so and that's it. That's all it needs to survive. So everything else can rot away, and depending on the climate too. If it's very cold,
they
To
should be
preserve
slow.
a little longer.
but they'll also be very slow. So
If it's very hot, they should deteriorate far
Right.
faster.
So whatever in The Walking Dead season 35, when they have a billion zombies and they're all like fresh bodies, that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
So
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, then you have movies like Return of the Living Dead, which they're goofy, but if they become a zombie, they're like instantly degraded looking.
yeah. Well, that came out of the goop. Man, I gotta say that scene scared the crap out of me as a kid. Just how happy he was. Like, there you are. Hungry. Brains.
All right, now the next point is the nutrition. How does zombies maintain energy even if they haven't eaten?
So I think nutrition doesn't have anything to do with it because they don't need digestive systems and that sort of stuff to maintain.
True. But how do they maintain the energy to keep moving?
It depends on who your film person is.
Yeah, it depends on who's coordinating this.
Romero kind of did it in an aspect where the zombies just needed to make more zombies, and then whoever did Return of the Living Dead made it about brains. Like, they have to consume your brain. That's like their thing.
Yeah, because a lot of his was like eating brains, where some other zombies are just like cannibals, where just eat everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Chicken bones.
And then like the gluttony factor, like they just keep eating.
Yeah, that's the Walking Dead thing. And they never explained. It was creepy at first, but then you see it all the time in the show.
It kind of lost its
You don't
luster.
understand why they're doing it. They just keep eating. You're just like, okay, that guy's going to distract them for a little while. We can move around now.
Well, it's like in season 2, Shane shoots the guy in the leg, and they're like, oh, well, they'll just all eat this one guy.
Yeah. I'll be busy.
He was a big old boy.
All right, the next point I wrote down was brain functioning levels. So like you have some that can climb ladders, open doors.
So smart zombies.
You have some that dodge trees, like falling. Or there was something I was watching, but they were like dodging a tree that fell. They could swim. And then you have some that can, like, they can coordinate, like in World War Z, to scale the walls like ants.
Oh yeah, World War Z is a different take because that's an even crazier herd mentality.
Yeah, that's like army ants.
That was like pinnacle herd
And
mentality.
That's
zombie.
not Max Brooks' interpretation of World War Z, anyways. I think that a zombie shouldn't they should have the mindset of a lesser animal. Like they shouldn't be able to figure out how to open a door, or anything like that. But they do have. It's almost like impulsive. I don't know, like a jellyfish. They don't really know what they're doing to consume, but they just do it. Kind of thing. You know, I think that's more realistic if you want to try to associate.
It's more like a pure animalistic sense that they have.
Even then, like animals, a dog will find a way if you lock it into your bathroom
to get out.
It'll eventually find a way to get out.
Tear that door off the hinge.
Yeah, a zombie will just stand there and wait until it falls apart.
Walk into it repeatedly, whatever.
Unless you're like in the Zack Snyder, like 2004 Dawn of the Dead, he just burst through the door trying to get her.
That's a different zombie, yeah. So I don't know. I think it depends, and I think whatever the motivation level is for the zombie to do something. So yeah.
Or like a Shaun of the Dead when they're just like pawing at the glass.
There's a girl in garden.
There's a girl in the garden.
And then the next point I had was finishing a meal. Like sometimes they'll like eat it to the bones.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, oh, a couple bites, and then they just move on. Like they don't even eat it all of it. They just move on to something else.
I think it was in the handbook survival guide where it was talking about how like a disemboweled zombie was eating the flesh of something, and it would just fall through its abdominal cavity on the floor, and it would just keep eating because it was there. Yeah. And it's vicious in its cycle until it just
until
fell
something
apart.
broke its cycle.
Right. So
well, that, and like, I mean, granted, why don't they eat each other? Like especially like the freshly made zombies. Like why don't the older ones try to eat them?
Because they're dead. When you die, your scent and everything changes immediately. Immediately.
And then the next point I had was the physical abilities. Like you have some zombies that like like in Walking Dead, you have these degraded zombies and they're like overpowering people.
That shouldn't happen.
That's the problem with The Walking Dead is you just don't really know where they are.
It's all plot.
Yeah, it is. You know, I don't know. So that's hard to say. And when you have
the fact that Walking Dead zombies sneak up on anybody, pisses me off to no end. When they're all walking around going,
well, you know, if it's a dude walking in the woods and the camera's like close on him, you're like, oh, there's gonna be a zombie coming on frame. There he is.
It's like the zombie's like, I gotta be quiet.
It's like stealth mode. He activates dead silence.
But then, like, you also have the World War Z ones where they like leap like 30 feet through the air.
Yeah, do they?
There's a couple of them. There's a couple of them that like leaped from like.
I thought they just climbed on top of each other.
Well, there was one that like leaps from like 10 feet away onto this guy getting out of a car and stuff.
That might be Hollywood stupid stuff, just trying to. Yeah.
Well, you just got to realize like their motion is going to be different than a normal person. Because they're not going to be stopped by, I could land on the ground and get hurt. Yeah. They don't have that sort of, inhibition where it's like, oh, this could cause me pain.
But they should.
They're moving at full physical speed that they can possibly move.
Right. But if you were to fall off of a roof and break your legs, and
that's it.
The same should work for a zombie too. Like it can't just get up and sprint at you or walk at you or shame.
No, the body structure is degraded. You shouldn't be able to.
The skeletal structure, if that is altered, then
you just be crawling around the ground going.
So, I don't know. See, these are like minutia questions that the broad zombie genre is just overlooking because. Let's be honest, it's zombies. People don't watch it to try and understand the science behind it.
Zombies.
Which, maybe that's the last stone unturned for because it's an overdone genre.
Oh, yeah.
What else can we do with zombies that hasn't been done?
Superheroes.
Okay.
Actually, I've read a book about that.
Yeah, I know. I will say, looking back across all these zombie films, I think the best one is still Shaun of the Dead.
I don't know.
As far as like the way the zombies act, the way they move, this whole
I really liked 28 Days Later. I think that was my favorite movie, and it felt like the zombies were all consistent throughout.
Mm.
You know,
I would say the zombies in Shaun of the Dead are consistent.
yeah, they are. I mean, it's just the same thing, but it's a comedy. That's what makes it so interesting. You know, but it's the same George Romero zombies.
But the fact that they acknowledge it.
yeah, you know.
I still find movies like Dawn of the Dead, though. To me, those are the scary zombies, and that's what I like. If I'm going to watch a zombie movie, it's got to be scary, and those are scary because they're going to just run you down.
It's scary for like 50 minutes, and then once you understand how they work, it's just watching the survivors just
Survive and survive.
do dumb stuff.
Yeah,
You just
do
watch
dumb
them get
stuff.
picked off one at a time until the end of the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That I guess that's my problem with the zombie genre. 10 years ago, it was cool because it was kind of like in its prime. There was zombie everything.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, it's just like you see a zombie movie, and it's the
But
same.
when's
as
the
everybody
last
else.
zombie movie you remember that came
That's
out?
Scouts Guide. Scouts.
Army of the Dead.
Oh, Army of the Dead. Yeah. So you see a zombie movie, and you're like, all right. So how come these people don't know about zombies? I mean, it's so meta culture right now. If a zombie apocalypse were to happen, people would be shooting zombies in the brain immediately.
Because we know.
We know. All right. And so how do you have a universe?
By removing the head or destroying the brain.
Right. How do you have a universe that is somewhat similar to ours where people don't understand how zombies are? The zombies have become so popular, you cannot have
People
that.
will be
I agree.
live tweeting. It's just like, oh my God, it's the zombie apocalypse. And here we are. It's like, what's our plan? It's like, go to Mom's house, kill Phil. Sorry. Go to Liz's, go to the Winchester, and have a nice cold pint. Wait for this whole thing to blow over.
I mean, I know, like, if it was real, you would see people on, like, TikTok, like, hey, watch this. That's,
Bow! Zombie kill of the week.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
That's the thing.
Zombieland, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like why
Zombieland.
Zombieland is funny.
Yeah. Well, the first one.
Yeah.
The second one was just trying to, and that's why I think
It was
the second
just
one didn't
dumb.
do well. That's why I think the second one didn't do well because it was the same crap, you know.
Yeah.
And people
And
were
no
like,
Bill Murray.
That's true. Poor BM. All right, go
Is
ahead.
that how you say hello where you come from?
In retrospect, this wasn't a good idea. All right, go ahead.
Our next point is herds. Like, they've started, because of The Walking Dead, they've started developing this into other, zombie movies, where, like, the zombies will just herd together. Like,
I guess like to have some sort of collective unit cohesiveness is an interesting idea, kind of like an ant mentality
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, you know what's really interesting is mycelial networks. I don't know, this is like stupid science stuff that I would find interesting. But like fungi will essentially communicate and work and live together in eating an organism, but not like stepping on each other's territory of that organism. And the scientists to this day don't really know how fungus communicates that way. So
I think it's more, I guess, they're attracted to sound or motion or something.
yeah.
And if you get enough of them together, they all kind of realize, like, oh, we're all going in this direction. And it's just like, that's kind of just how it snowballs.
we're all
Well,
in
This
this
My
together.
whole thing is, like, if they're a herd and they're attracted to noise, when they all conglomerate, how you say it.
Conglomerate.
Conglomerate.
Words
Welcome-
with Mitch.
Words with Mitch. Congregate.
that right there.
We got to get Mitch on like Sesame Street or something.
When they congregate.
One. No, like, I mean, when they're all together, though, like, why would they not just walk around in circles? Like, because they show them doing that in
You know
The
what was
Walking
an
Dead.
interesting, that movie Cell.
The Cell
Yeah, The Cell.
with Vincent D'Onofrio and
J-Lo?
No,
J-Lo.
with John Cusack and Samuel Jackson. The Stephen King book.
Oh man, I forgot
That's
all about that.
1408.
Isn't that 1408?
No, it's The Cell. No, that was I think that was him. I think they did a different one.
All right,
They also
what's-
did this.
What's interesting about
But
this?
that's also that kind of herd mentality. It's almost like it's like worker bees where they communicate through frequency of sound.
There's zombies in there. That do
Yeah.
that?
But they're people obviously, but they're like brainwashed into this thing and they become zombie-esque very much.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's something about technology, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But like that's what causes the zombies
Yeah.
in a way.
Uh,
But that aspect of
That was always a Romero allegory too. Is
Yeah.
basically people being so involved in their material world that they
for
become
all you
zombies.
people staring at your phones, looking through Twitter
Yeah.
or Snapchat or TikTok.
But by all means, don't stop listening to our podcast.
Yeah, don't stop listening to us. You're one of us. You're one of the hive.
You will subscribe. Obey.
And then we'll move on to the next point.
Entertain this. Entertain this.
Obey. Consume. But
Subscribe.
there's 3 ways predominantly that they try to make zombies dangerous in film.
Okay.
The first one is that they put a group in a location that limits their resources.
Obviously.
Just,
Yeah.
Because God forbid they just walk to where resources are, or drive, or transport themselves in some sort of fashion.
Well, before you move on, I mean, like, the survivor stories are always interesting.
Right.
But they're always, like, interesting to a degree. Like, what's that story about the people that got stranded on an airplane or on an airplane crash in a mountain and they like cannibalize each other and stuff like that to survive?
that was about like a soccer team.
Yeah, and like they did a movie adaptation.
Yeah.
and it was interesting.
That was
for, like,
true.
Yeah, it was interesting for like 30 minutes, and then it was just kind of like die already. You know?
Get
But-
to the bend.
so like
Skip it.
you can with zombies, you can take a survivor story and then inject an interesting kind of personified appeal to it that causes these the survivors to go through hell, but in a pacing that's more understandable to the audience. So that's one way of doing an interesting survivor story. Unfortunately, it's been done over and over and over again. You know, like you can just watch 30 years of The Walking Dead. So
Moving on to the next point is they'll increase the zombies' physical abilities or the infection rate to where it's like astronomical to where you got to be like quarantined not to get infected.
it
and
makes
stuff like
sense
that.
for 28 Days Later. It doesn't make sense for like The Walking Dead
No.
or other things. So
And then lastly, you basically just make the protagonists idiots.
yeah, they're always falling
they're
down.
all dumb.
It's
They
either
trip.
It's either
They
because it's a
fall.
comedy zombie movie, or the good guys are just completely dumb when it comes to like choosing a location,
Yeah.
their weapons. You know, we've got these guns. Let's take the machete. This kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the machete doesn't run out of ammo.
What's your backup weapon? Take both. That's the answer.
Obviously, that's the answer.
yeah. Or, you know, like they see. Like,
I've explained my zombie scenario. You know what I need. A lot of it's already here in the apartment. I'm already on a 3rd floor, which is nice because I have elevation.
okay.
I
Sounds
have
ready.
unlimited water.
You got
I'm
your
good.
You got your Power Rangers helmet?
I have 2 Power Ranger helmets
right.
and 1 X-wing helmet.
Which one would you wear
His
for the
brain
It does-
can't be eaten.
My 3rd one's in the mail.
Oh, look at
The
you.
Blue Ranger helmet. So suck on that.
Which color would you wear for the zombie apocalypse?
Green,
Oh, why it blends in with the foliage or something?
obviously.
Okay.
Plus,
More powerful.
Plus, somebody will look and go, "Oh, Green Ranger."
You'd be a really funny zombie walking around your Power Rangers.
That's also like kind of like a niche kind of thing. It's just like
Is that the Green
Ranger. Oh, he's a zombie. He can't bite us. He's got the helmet on. I'd be harmless. People would just. I'd be like a novelty. Have you seen the Green Ranger zombie?
Don't kill that guy. He looks cool. No.
No, I'd go to medieval times and raid that place
Okay. Mine would be.
for chainmail, swords, armor,
Uh-huh.
because zombies can't bite through steel.
Okay.
Swords don't run out of ammo.
Okay.
And those are battle tested, hardened swords of quality steel that can take impact after impact.
So mine would be I would have a long gun, a shotgun, a handgun, and a melee weapon. Okay.
You gonna carry all that?
Yeah.
What kind of inventory system are we using?
You get a rucksack, and you can upgrade it +5 to inventory space.
That's gonna get heavy.
Hey, I am light infantry, man. I know how to pack stuff.
I mean, to be honest, a long gun would be great.
Right.
Ammo, I mean, obviously you have to pick up as you go. Shotgun, to be honest, I would try to find a double barrel and cut it down to a sawed-off.
I would be fine.
Just for that quick, if you pull the sawed-off out of like some sort of holster or something quick where you have 2 barrels that you can fire rapidly.
Let's be honest.
and
Tom's gonna
giant
outlive
spread.
us if a zombie apocalypse happens because we have 3 other people we have to keep alive.
That's true.
I just have to worry about me.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I would want a tube shotgun solely for breaching, and that's like if I'm running from a zombie or horde or whatever, and I get to a house and the door. I'm not going to try the door. I'm just going to blow the hinges off and run inside.
How are you going to re-secure the door?
That's once I get inside the house, that's I'll figure.
He's like,
that
that's a
out.
5 minutes down the
Yeah,
road problem.
Exactly.
That's a later problem. Right now I need to get inside. Why
Yeah.
don't you just jump through the window?
Well, first off, hopefully I wouldn't be in that position.
True.
And so here's my scenario. I have those weapons. I have a plate carrier, and I'd have my rucksack.
Well, don't get too far into scenarios. I have some questions.
And I would live in a water tower. There you go.
It's gonna get cold.
Yeah, it is going to get cold.
I've slept in colder, I promise you.
Anyways, we'll get back to that. I have some scenario questions at the end. Next little point I was going to get to is like most zombie movies or zombie films, they explore like the breakdown of society or the inability of people to work together. Which do you think of those seems more believable? Like, you know, what makes for a better story?
California would be the first to go.
Yes, the people's inability to work with each other. That's exactly what I think would happen.
But which one do you think makes for the better story in like a film or TV?
Well, so if you're gonna like do a social satire through a zombie film, I mean that's kind of always been the origin of zombie films. Is just like this is why people suck, and this is why they would die in any kind of monster, you know, worldwide situation. So I think that's outdone. If we're talking about a good movie, now if you had it where like it was just 4 survivors that were from different cultures, and they found a way to overcome their differences and then use their differences as a means to survive, I think that would be interesting. And I feel like The Walking Dead always almost gets there and then kills them off. You know, and that's why I kind of give up on that show. But, you know, social satire or social parody or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. That's boring. What was the other options?
Well, I put down breakdown of society or the inability for people to work together.
Breakdown of society is always fascinating. You know, like when did...
Every man for himself.
They're always like, the government's failed. That's always like the first like line in an apocalypse movie.
Government's collapsed.
Yeah.
If you depended on the government, you failed yourself.
That's why I like 28 Days Later, because like you see how the government failed kind of as they go along. You know, it's already happened, but you pick up on it more as they go along.
In retrospect.
Right. And I thought that was an interesting
And the fact that the entire world just quarantined it to England.
Right. Because it was an island. I mean, it makes sense.
It's an island. It's perfect.
And I wish they would have, for World War Z, I wish they would have done how the book did it, which was Manhattan Island. Like the hordes of zombies were just trying to get across the bridges, and how they were like fighting all these giant zombies, or hordes of zombies on these bridges, and how they were failing because modern weaponry is like designed to incapacitate living humans and not walking corpses. So they were just piling on top of each other and overrunning the soldiers and stuff like that.
Well, soldiers, you know, if you don't know about zombies, they're trained to shoot for center mass to drop the target.
That's true too. Yeah,
you're
not trained for headshots only.
Yeah. So I mean, basically they're wasting ammo until they eventually figure it out.
And there's how many bridges that come off of Manhattan to the mainland?
20,
Several.
Yeah,
20?
They couldn't blow them up all up in time. So
No,
it was really interesting how they did that.
So you got that. Plus you got tunnels.
You got the subway. You got the tunnels of the Lincoln Tunnel. It's a lot. There's a lot of ways off that island.
Yeah,
I'll be honest,
it might be an island, but there's a lot of ways to get off of it.
If a zombie apocalypse ever actually happened and it got far enough out of control where like there's big major problems, you're never going to be able to curtail it because they could just expand anywhere. And then all it takes is like one person to get infected, wander into some town, you know, and then just infect everybody in the town, and then just continues to spread again.
It's kind of like how COVID was. Like, you see that sweaty guy walking into a room, and you're like, dude, I'm going to kill you right now. Just save everybody the problem.
All right, dude. Mitch, what's your next point?
Just to curtail this, we're just going to
let's just pump the brakes on that right now. Let's table that question.
I'll save everybody having a bad couple weeks.
The next part I had before our scenarios was why. What draws people into wanting, like the audience, to wanting to watch zombie movies?
Because they see stupid people go through stupid situations.
And they sit there and think,
and they're like,
I could do better.
Yeah.
That's why
they're feel-good movies.
Most people, like most dudes, have their zombie plan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, to be fair, we have the benefit of the doubt because we live in the learned world where we understand zombies. If there was some actual apocalyptic whatever that happened that we wouldn't know what to do, you know, I'm sure everybody would be singing a different tune.
I mean, I hope for the zombie apocalypse because then that means I can stop paying taxes.
Okay.
So I don't have to go back to work.
I don't have to go to work anymore.
That's
true.
true.
Better yet, well, this might reveal a little bit, but I would go to work. And I would kick everybody out. You're free. Get out.
Where we work is a secure enough facility.
Very secure facility.
Everybody's free. Get out. This is my building.
Yeah.
Enough to sustain several people. Not more than 10 for an exorbitant amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that zombies were always interesting for that aspect, is that people were fascinated with the idea of what they would do. And it is a really easy way.
Could you survive?
A really easy way to satirize problems with current modern issues in politics and economy and culture clashes and whatnot through a monster movie. So, you get your little artesian, nose up at society stuff too, but you also bring in the people who just want to see blood and guts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's another thing I was going to ask. Like, what's so fascinating about a never-ending foe, essentially? I mean,
well, it's not a never-ending foe.
It kind of is.
It'll end eventually.
Name one zombie movie that has a legitimately happy ending.
Shaun of the Dead.
Does it though?
Yeah.
I mean, they do turn them into like
But
game show zombies.
Isn't there still zombies? Well,
They're still zombies, though.
I guess it does have a happy
They have like talk shows with zombies on them.
All right.
I still love him.
I still love him. It's my husband.
A serious zombie movie, though. Like what?
Why isn't it a serious zombie film?
Because it's comedy.
And that somehow takes away from the fact that they're zombies. People died in that movie.
They did in a very funny way.
And very grotesque.
But I'm talking about like
she's drunk.
Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, both versions. 28 Days Later.
Well, no, Dawn of the Dead ends in a kind of happy note.
Not really.
No,
not Dawn of the Dead. I'm sorry. 28 days later.
They get sort of rescued, but even then, you don't know what and where they are and what the future of this outbreak is, and you're left to assume that it could be a lot worse. And then they have a sequel, which is not that great, but that does get a lot worse
because they make it to mainland Europe.
Right. So I think that zombie movies fall into what's called the dread genre. A type of horror where there's no feasible happy ending, and you're just essentially seeing people gonna go to their doom one way or the other. So it's like a slice of life right before your death. So,
choke on it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to move on to the scenario questions. I have a few that I wrote down.
All right.
And you just have to go with it. You can't reason your way out of it. Number one.
Do I have a gun?
Well, we'll see. Overnight, 2/3 of the world becomes a zombies.
That's fast.
You wake up, 2/3 of the world's a zombies. What do you do first?
Go to the bathroom.
Okay.
That's how Tom dies.
Chances are I woke up, I have to pee.
Tom dies pooping.
He does pooping.
Well, how do I die pooping?
Just like Elvis. I guess I'd check local news to see how bad it is locally.
Yeah. Sit down and watch the telly.
Yeah.
2/3 of the population are zombies, but is it where I live?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to know. So if I turn on the TV, they go to the local channel station. If it says experiencing technical difficulties,
It's just going to say stand by, stand by.
I'm going to be like, okay.
Is my Wi-Fi out?
You hear screaming outside the windows.
All right.
Shut up out there.
I'm trying to watch the news. I guess I get in the car and I'd go to the Winchester.
I have myself a nice cold. No, I mean, obviously all my stuff's locked when I wake up, all the doors and the windows and everything. But I'd probably fire up the bathtub to fill it up all the way as much as I could to conserve as much water as I could.
Good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Probably do the same with as many.
Considering you're on the 3rd floor, that water pressure is going to die soon.
Yeah.
As many bottles or stuff I can salvage.
And he's going to sit on the porch, just pick off the parking lot.
I'm going to raid all the neighboring apartments and take all.
We're going to show up to Tom's apartment and be like, "We're here, Tom." He's going to start shooting at us.
No, I'm going to my parents.
Yeah. Your parents have a great.
They got a fence.
I don't know. I might just go to work, take my family and go to work. I'll occupy.
We'll go to Central.
Yeah, take a spot and kick some people out and be like, "This is where we live now."
All right. Well, I mean, granted, we all kind of know, but I was going to ask this, and I didn't think about asking this until after I wrote it down, and I was like, But I was going to say, you have any weapons close by?
Yeah.
We can just go with yeah.
Yes.
The answer to that question is yes.
I have the Master Sword.
I have that sword right there.
Yeah.
I have 4 lightsabers. I got 2 Power Ranger morphers. I'm set. It's morphin' time.
The rest of the world hates it, but we live in America. There's guns.
I have a dog that really likes bones. So if anything's exposed,
You're just going to tear the zombie off through the yard.
That'd be kind of funny to watch.
What would be your first priority? Like, I mean, besides, what you're going to do, what would be your first priority to do?
I guess, like, after I have
the realization of what's going on.
Well, after I have legitimate security of me and my people, I would try and find a way to communicate with somebody. And somebody that I know, like, I got a buddy that me and him, we've already actually talked about this.
Troy?
Yeah. How we would, like, complex up and essentially just...
Called Britt.
Yeah. Well,
we texted, hey, is this going on where you live too?
Text me your address. I'm on my way, Britt.
Yeah. Well, I called Britt, but he wouldn't answer.
That's true.
He'd be outside. He'd look like the
he'd be outside in, like, Hawaiian shirt and his night vision speed helmet in the middle of the day with some SBR going, woo!
What's the redneck in the hurricane where he's holding the flags, like swinging his hand?
Yeah, that'd be him. That'd be Britt.
That would be Britt. Living the dream.
He'd love every second of it. That doesn't count.
You kind of already answered this, but if you had to escape, like you had to leave, let's say you had to leave our county, where are you going to go?
The mountains, probably.
Coast.
The coast? On the coast.
The ocean. Fish. It's a water source and a food source. Yes, I will have to boil the water and sanitize and turn it into
harder
fresh
than
water.
you think it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it can be done.
I don't know, not reasonably. I'd go to the mountains because you have fresh water, and it is a high point with depending on where you're at, feasible line of sight in all directions and stuff like that. So
that's where I'd go too.
Yeah,
I want to go to the mountains because you can, just chop down some trees, make some barricades. Plus,
just chop down some trees, like just whack, whack, whack.
Take your chainsaw.
But the zombies would have to move their way up the hill, or unless they go up the one road. So you have a little more. You have the advantage of being higher. Plus, when it gets colder, if you go a little further north in the mountains, they're going to be slower. So that's what I would do too.
And set the mountain on fire.
Let's do that.
That's good unless you're living on the mountain.
Just wait.
Just wait. And then my next question: do you trust others?
Not you two.
Wow.
Well, we know where we're coming to raid first. Go ahead and get that out of the way.
Good luck coming in alive.
I got to steal this Power Ranger helmet style.
We'll come and raid just, 2 energy drinks in their
Yeah, I'll steal his Red Bull. And
You guys all drank.
Yeah.
Your popcorn, chicken, and fries you have in the freezer.
It is funny how in movies how quickly people betray each other.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, dude, it's a Twinkie. Like, chill out. You don't have to
It's
murder.
the last Twinkie.
You don't have to murder each other for that. I
hate snowballs.
I think in today's society, like
Coconut, not the taste, but the texture.
what's weird is this might be getting a little,
Revealing.
well, no, like in depth of like modern social psychology, but I think people and social media kind of have this weird, distant distrust of everybody, but they also have really tighter, closer circles of people that they would trust and work with. So I think it will work out. It would be like, who you have your commune and some dude's walking up. Who are you? Where are you going? Back the way you came.
There's something prowling around here.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would be trusting of others to a degree. It depends on like my situation at the moment.
Yeah.
If I'm in a compromised position, then no, they just keep on walking.
Hey,
I already get my
hey, what's your name? Tony. F you, Tony.
I already get my mail with a shotgun, so it wouldn't be much of a change.
That was my next question. Was kind of along the same lines. You have your family with you. Are you going to stop and help others?
Nope.
It depends. It depends on
Nope.
what it is.
I mean, well, you got.
I'm going totally cutthroat.
For me, it would be no.
If they're not like my immediate family or friends, F them.
Oh, these are just strangers on the side that are in trouble.
Nope. schwack them, take their stuff, keep it moving.
If it's a dude that's like,
My leg is broken.
Yeah,
it's like, sucks to be you.
No, like, say there's like 10 zombies around this guy and he's stuck on the water tower.
Yeah.
I'm not.
If it's a guy, if it's kids or something like that, I don't know.
You got money?
It depends. So.
You got food?
If my family's with me, no, they're on their own. Just because my family's too little, other than my wife, to defend themselves. So it's up to me to defend them.
It depends. If I could feasibly see a way of doing it, what do they call those death assessments? Like, how can I die? And if it's reasonable, I'd figure something out. It depends.
Mm-hmm. All right, and my last one is, you lose the vehicle that you have. What you going for?
Well, if I gotta take a vehicle, I gotta take a vehicle. I mean, that's where the distrust comes in. Is now
Taking
I need resources for me and my people.
Obviously, some sort of truck with off-road capability would be most desirable. Something probably stronger in horsepower.
I will carjack somebody if I have to. I don't care. Yeah. Do some like DC sniper kind of stuff, whatever it takes.
Yeah, we know where he went real quick.
This is where you really learn about the guys on this podcast.
Whatever it takes.
If the world goes to crap, you realize how far we're gonna go.
I mean, hopefully I'll figure something better out first, but if that's what it comes down to, sorry.
It is what it is. Sorry.
Okay, that was all the questions I had and what I'd
and
researched
the many
and
dark
stuff.
turns we've taken.
Yeah.
I just figured it'd be an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
it was.
People like zombie films and stuff, so
yeah.
There we go.
That's the best one.
I think so. I don't know of any. There's obviously Walking Dead crap coming out forever. But then there's also the Zack Snyder show or movie coming out with the most recent day that.
I think there's going to be a sequel to Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead
somehow, because they have the Army of Thieves.
Right.
Well, they have the Army of Thieves that leads into as like a prequel to that, and then they have this, and I think there's supposed to be something that takes place like after it. So,
but besides that, there's not much.
Not that I know of.
There's not like a zombie game or anything that's like gonna.
Well, they do have that Days Gone By, which is supposed to be kind of like a mix between The Division and Walking Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. Which it's really good graphics. They're using Unreal Engine 5. That's why it got delayed. But I mean it's it's all multiplayer where like you can kind of like the Dead Zone stuff, except for you don't have to exfil, but there's other people around.
There's nothing zombie game or something that I'm super excited about anymore.
Yeah. That sounds like Left 4 Dead.
Even then, Left 4 Dead got really repetitive.
Or what's the one in the mall?
Oh, Dying Light? No, that's not Dying Light. That's the one we played. What is that one?
I don't remember.
That one was like huge.
It was fun because you just pick up
it was
random
like
stuff.
GTA Zombie Edition.
Oh, the one
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising.
Yeah,
there was like 8 of those too.
Yeah, they were fun to begin with, and then they got repetitive.
You kill people with like tricycles and stuff like that.
Yeah, hit this guy with the mallet you used to hit the little thing into the bell. Or
I remember like
I
was being chased by a horde of zombies, and I ran into like a toy store and I grabbed a wiffle ball bat, and it was just like squeak, 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 and just like little squeaky noises, and I was like, "This is useless. Why would they make this a feature?"
Because you can do that in real life too. In 134 hits, you'll be dead.
Depending on which game, you can grab other things, like from the adult store and start swinging it.
Yeah, hit some dude upside the head with some 12-foot dildo.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think the zombie genre will probably resurge in 20 years, but I think it's kind of on the way out for now.
I don't know why, but I find zombie I've read several of the different novels and stuff, and the one that I would really like to see made into a TV show, because a movie you wouldn't be able to cover enough, but it's Day by Day Armageddon. It's a really good story. It would make a fun TV series.
Well, maybe the people from Walking Dead will bastardize
Now
that.
they'll just keep milking the crap out of Walking Dead and whatever they can get out of it.
Now, I like reading zombie books because I guess because you got your own imagination with it, but those are still pretty good to me.
Yeah.
If you get the right one.
Yeah, I wonder if there is ever going to be something like that. Was the hayfire of zombie, because I mean it kind of trickled in with all the Romero movies for about 10, 20 years, and then just from the late 90s, early 2000s, just blew up for the past 20 years, and then it's going to slow down again. I don't know if anything will ever be like that.
I will say, though, if there ever is a zombie apocalypse, I am going to look at a zombie and go, dibba 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 dibba. And see if he goes, dibba 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 dibba.
You would.
Supposed to say base or freeze.
All right. Well, that was fun. That was a good conversation.
Good conversation, Mitch.
Good job, Mitch.
Welcome to Conversation Corner.
All right. If you enjoyed that, or if you have any other things you want to talk about, I don't know, werewolves or something, hit Mitch up on the social media.
American Werewolf in London.
What's the one social media thing that's easiest for them to contact you at?
EntertainThisPodcast.com.
There you go.
Because it'll take you to all the others.
All right. That's it.
Great
for
episode.
This.
Bye.
Good job, Tom. Hijack my thunder.
Goodbye, Tom. And hey, and Mitch.
Bye, guys.